performance. Toyota MR2 Championship about to get underway here from Rockingham. Paul Cook and Josh Brooks make up the front row ahead of Sean Trainer and Graham Mailings. Then Matthew Smith and Mick Nichols ahead of Shane Mansbridge and Ben Rowe. Tim Heron and Chris Thomas are on the fifth row. Row 6 for Paul Calloway and Matthew Allen. And then the rest of them filing in behind. Well, race 1 was a dramatic encounter, won by Sean Trainer in the end from Paul Cook and Graham Mailings. But remember, it was Josh Brooks who led going on to the last lap, only to make a mistake down at the Dean Hairpin and throw it all away. Remember as well just how entertaining the opening half a lap or so, or opening few laps really, were of race 1. Are we going to see more of the same in race 2? Let's find out then. The 5-second board is held out over the starting gantry. The red lights come on, they go off. Now we're away and racing for the second time at Rockingham. It's an even start from both front row men. Paul Cook in the grey and yellow car on the left-hand side is just going to be beaten down to turn 1, I think, by Josh Brooks on the inside line. So Brooks it is who will have the lead. Everyone else getting through turn 1, 3, 4, a rest maybe further back. But down towards the Dean Hairpin we go. And on top to a single file, it's already a calmer start than we had in race 1. Brooks ahead of Cook. Cook dives to the outside line. Then we've got Sean Trainer in 3rd place. Graham Mailings on the inside there. They're trying to take that place away, which I think he might do. So Mailings goes 3rd. Trainer, the race 1 winner, down to 4th. Look at them all skating out wide down at the midfield there. Through the right-handers now. Ben Rowe locking up on the inside line. There's all wayward stuff going on behind, but I think we've just about gone through without too much contact this time around. Now into Chapman, on board with Paul Calloway, as they turn through the right-hander now, through the left-right flip-flop at Piff-Paff. Side-by-side battle further back. That's Chris Thomas, who's not had a great start. He's dicing away with Shane Mansbridge, the 34 car. And 92 is Paul Calloway, who we just rode on board with. 65 in behind them. That's another car that we're following fairly extensively in race 1, Matthew Allen. Race leaders turn their way through Gracelands for the first time. Then it is Josh Brooks leads the way. Paul Cook 2nd, Graham Mailings 3rd. Sean Trainer's on the grass in 4th position. Then Mick Nichols in 5th will try and take advantage, which he will almost be able to do into the Tarzan Hairpin. And a big look up the inside, but Trainer just about gets to the inside and crucially gets the car stopped as well. And then I think it's Ben Rowe in car number 3 who is in 6th place. Yes, it is. Remember, Ben also had an early off down at the Dean Hairpin in race 1. And the championship leader coming into this round, well, he will have been quite happy that his nearest championship rival, Tim Heron, could only manage 8th. But Graham Mailings, who was only 22 points off the championship lead, did finish 3rd in race 1, and he's running 3rd in this one as well at the moment as they come through to complete lap number 1. So Graham Mailings starting to become a bit more of a nuisance in the championship now as far as Ben Rowe is concerned. Rowe comes across the line in 6th place, then it's Matthew Smith in 7th, 8th is Chris Thomas, and these two did battle briefly in race 1 as well. And 9th place looks to be Mansbridge, and 10th place is possibly Calloway in 92. Down into Dean Hairpin we go once again. Someone's screeching tyres in front of them. Oh no, no, it's Josh Cook! Josh Cook, would you believe it? For the 2nd race in a row, the Dean Hairpin is where he throws away the race lead, but it's all changed at the front look because now we're 3 abreast for 2nd, with Trainer on the outside, but Nichols on the inside. Paul Cook and he make contact. Does that damage Nichols' car? Hard to tell at the moment. He's carrying on, but Josh Brooks, that has become his bogey corner. This time, though, it's a lot earlier in the race, so at least he's got time to try and recover, but that has handed the race lead to Graham Mailings. Graham Mailings has got the Roadster out in front. We have not yet had a race victory this season for one of the Class C Roadsters. This could be the potential, at least, for the first one of those this year. However, we've still got Cook and Trainer dicing over 2nd place, so Cook hanging on to it for now. Trainer, though, right behind, and then a real train of cars behind because we've got Mick Nichols in 4th, but Ben Rowe up the inside of him now, down towards Tarzan, and I think he might be about to take that place. Meanwhile, Trainer's nearly to the back of Paul Cook. Oh, no! Oh, big contact, big contact. That's Matthew Smith into the side of Mick Nichols. Plenty of other cars have to take avoiding action. That's Calloway across the grass. That was contact there, I think. Well, I think it was possibly Ben Rowe who got into the side and Mick Nichols turning round, and then everyone else just piled in. On board with Michael Japp now as he heads down into that part of the circuit, waves a hand at the drivers behind because there will be yellow flags out, because there, Mick Nichols, that was his 2nd bit of contact that lap. Mick Nichols out. Now, let's see, so Rowe goes on the inside. Mick closes the door, there's contact between the two of them, and then Matthew Smith nowhere to go, bang into the side of Mick Nichols' car. That was a hefty whack. Calloway has to take to the gravel to avoid, several others do behind as well. Darren Aldworth, that is possibly going to the grass. very wide at least. So, well, Smith continued, but with a damaged front end. And there he is, look, he's still in the battle here. That's Josh Brooks recovering back on the inside of him, though. Brooks is going to try and take another couple of positions out of this if he can. On board with Paul Calloway, who we also saw was delayed in all of that. So it's kicked off well and truly again here in race 2. Down in towards the right-hander in Yenwood. Josh Brooks on the outside now of Matthew Rowe, that is, 51. With Calloway into Yenwood, and, well, again, the order gets jumbled up by a little bit of contact in the early stages when everyone's so close together, though. If someone gets sideways, everyone else, it's a job for them just to avoid contact, and unfortunately Matthew Smith, there was nothing he could do to avoid that contact, but he's a quick driver looking to try and move forward, like the black and pink car behind him of Josh Brooks. Towards Gracelands now comes this little battle. That's Matthew Allen trying to get past Aaron Bowman Smith. Ben Rowe there locking up a break in the foreground as they came down into Tarzan. Wherever you look, though, there are battles going on, and Matthew Allen there having a peek on the inside of Bowman Smith. Then we've got 92 Calloway on the inside of Thomas Mailings there in the 77 car. All of this battling is further delaying the cars trying to chase after the race leader Graham Mailings. Back through Brook they go again, and out along the pit straight once more. We got 9 laps in race 1, and since it doesn't look as though we'll need a safety car, I think Mick Nichols' car, either he's driven it out of the way or the marshals have moved it out of the way. We should hopefully get the full 9 laps in again this time. Down the pit straight we go. Paul Calloway we're on board with again. Terrible news that is for Mick Nichols, though, because he, like Sean Trainer, had some work to do points-wise after some iffy results early on in the season. They were, well, Mick Nichols was 9th in the championship going into this weekend, and Sean Trainer 10th. Well, Sean has already had a race victory. Oh, look at that! Oh, Thomas Mailings with big contact, and that was... Well, I've never seen 2 cars go that far off the road down at the Dean hairpin. What on earth happened then? All of a sudden, Thomas Mailings came out of nowhere and wiped us out. That was an enormous impact, and well, let's hope both drivers are okay. Neither of them surely. Well, Paul Calloway is going to carry on remarkably. I don't think Mailings will be, but Paul Calloway, who, let's not forget, was one of our contenders for a decent finish in the Mark 1 category earlier on. Well, race 2 has not gone to plan at all. There goes Neil Stratton in the yellow number 36 car, chasing down Adam Lockwood. And they are battling for the lead in the Mark 1 class now. So Lockwood has it, Hemingway wants it, and he's only a car length away from getting it at the moment as they head down into the right-hander at Tarzan. Not Hemingway, excuse me, Stratton. Hemingway we've seen as a bit further back. It's been such a jumbled up start to the race, though. It's easy to lose track of what's been going on, really. Down into the Brook chicane. And Lockwood turns in just about ahead of Neil Stratton. I don't think that Adam is going to have this all his own way. They head out onto the pit straight again, and Stratton with a much tighter line. Adam Lockwood makes his way, though, along across the start-finish line, still just about in front, but definitely Stratton carried more speed out of the corner. He's in the slipstream now as they head down towards the trouble spot this weekend at the Dean hairpin, the corner at which everyone's tried to have an accident at some point. Onto the brakes now, into Dean, and Lockwood defending the inside, but can he get the car stopped? He seems late on the brakes, but there are yellow flags anyway, because presumably, although we saw Paul Calloway rejoin from that contact a lap ago, it doesn't look as though Thomas Mailings has been able to, so marshals in attendance making sure, A, that Thomas is okay, which I think he is, and secondly, that the car is in a safe position. It's such a long way, it's almost halfway round the oval lap down there at turn 2 of the banking, so that was a really long way off the circuit that it went. Through Biff Paff again, and gap up the inside as there, maybe Lockwood taking that traditional wide line in, and Neil Stratton considered having a go up the inside. And is that Mick Nichols behind them after his spin early on? I think it is. He's recovered remarkably well. Check back in with some of the cars running a bit further up the order. And there is Matthew Smith, who ran into the side of Mick Nichols, of course, earlier on. There is Josh Brooks, nearly our race 1 winner. And now here comes, yes, that is going to be Nichols, isn't it? So Mick Nichols He's already got himself past Neil Stratton. He's now trying to get past the 11 of Adam Lockwood. He run almost 3 abreast out of the corner, but Stratton could almost use that to his advantage if he's clever. Meanwhile, towards the sharp end of the field, Paul Cook here. Now, Paul Cook is in front of Graham Mailings, is he? So, or is that... hang on, let's see what's going on here. Down into the Dean hairpin they go, and that is 71, which is indeed Graham Mailings. So Mailings, who was leading earlier on, is now down into second place. Paul Cook has taken over the race lead. Car number 26, and then we have Ben Rowe behind. So it's all changed again whilst we're watching what's going on in the midfield. So the order now: Cook from Mailings, from Rowe, from Trainer is your top 4. We are hearing though that Paul Cook is being investigated for an incident earlier on, and that could potentially lead to some sort of a penalty being applied. More news on that as we have it. So Paul Cook into the lead of the race. I'm not entirely sure which of the various incidents that have happened out there have involved Paul Cook, but we believe he is being investigated for something. So through the right-hander at Tarzan he goes. Mailings now having to defend this second place from Ben Rowe. Here comes another one of the Mark 1 battles. That's car number 50, which is Daniel Bryant, just about fending off 99, Gareth Baxter. Another nice battle going on. As we've said, though, wherever you look in the field, there's something happening, usually quite exciting. There's Tim Heron. You can see the darker of the 2 blue cars at the forefront of that shot, trying to gain a place at the expense of Darren Aldworth. To no avail, though, for the time being, so they can back out onto the banking, still in the same order. Then the next 3 cars behind, right against the wall there, as they come now into the closing stages of this race, actually. 2 more laps, probably, maybe a third lap left. Through turn 1, back around to another lap. That's Callaway there trying to continue his forward progress after the various dramas that he's had. I beg your pardon, it's not Callaway, is it? He's running a bit further up the order. Skating out wide, that's Matthew Rowe, excuse me, another one of the red Mark 3 cars in the middle of a Mark 2 sandwich, but he gets himself out of that position because he dives on the inside of Aaron Bowman-Smith. Gains a place. Matthew Smith, the car behind. Bowman-Smith, though, coming back up the inside there of Rowe into Chapman. And Matthew has to leave him room, but that's all right. He can wide and still have the inside line for Piff Paff. And look at Matthew Smith sideways over the curb, but he gets on the inside of Aaron Bowman-Smith, and he's going to take the place, I think, down at Kirby. So far from a textbook overtaking manoeuvre, but it worked, and he gets the place away. So down in towards Tarzan they go. There's Shane Mansbridge, Chris Thomas in behind him, and then side by side between Tim Heron and Darren Aldworth. Heron on the outside and way onto the grass. Oh, what a shame. That's Matthew Rowe, having just made that nice move to get himself up a position ahead of the 2 Mark 2 cars. He throws it into the gravelly. He will rejoin, but having lost several places, Bowman-Smith is now sideways. Josh Brooks is behind him, but Josh, we believe, is also being investigated for an incident earlier on, so we couldn't yet see a few positions changing before the end of the race. No sign of a last lap board yet, so 2 more laps presumably still to go. Tim Heron did get himself ahead of Aldworth, so that was a move made, a position gained. There is Matthew Rowe. And the rest of them filing through. Aldworth now trying to come back at Heron. He's heading to the Dean hairpin, and Heron locks up. Oh no, so easy to do. We said that after Josh Brooks' moment down there in race 1, and that position that Heron's been working at getting for a few laps. He just got it, and then he throws it all the way down at the Dean hairpin, so he's got to do it all over again now. Aldworth very happily moves back through another position. Heron gets sideways again there into Chapman. I think he's been frustrated now. The red mist maybe starting to descend. Piff Paff down into Kirby. Is just starting to close back in. Don't forget, Tim Heron's second in the championship going into this weekend. He lost that position to Graham Mailings after race 1, though. And he looks as though he's going to potentially lose further ground in the championship, although some of his other rivals not having such a great day either, so it's not the end of the world for Heron. And with drop scores, he can still get himself back into this. But he'll be keen to try and get back ahead of Darren Aldworth before the end of the race. He's shown that he can do it once, but Darren has defended pretty well thus far. That was the only time that Darren's been able to get alongside. They're both being caught by the walking wounded Matthew Smith, whose car is far from in showroom spec, but it's still running okay, clearly. Lucky he didn't do any damage to the radiator or the steering or the suspension. He's just been able to continue with a slightly crumpled front end. He's still making good progress, actually. Across the line they go. Now there is Paul Cook. He's the race leader on the road, but we are hearing he's been excluded from the race. He is being excluded from the race, and this is for an incident that happened earlier on in the race. So Paul Cook is not going to be classified as your race winner. So real drama then for Paul as he turns his way through. That now means the battle behind is now the fight for the race win, and it's Sean Trainer who heads the group. There's back marker that they go past, but Ben Rowe is all over him. This is now for the race lead, and Ben Rowe really wants to try and get himself back onto winning ways, having won twice already, sorry, 3 times already this season. He's not had a great weekend here at Rockingham, and now he senses a chance to take a victory. Graham Mailings, of course, who was the early race leader, is now not far behind him in 3rd as well. So Paul Cook, he may be leading on the road, but he is not going to be allowed to keep this race victory unless there's some sort of post-race appeal process made. But it doesn't look as though Paul Cook is going to be able to take the checkered flag. He'll take it on the road, but actually the race victory is going to go to one of the 3 cars dicing away behind him. And look at them, they're side by side. Sean Trainer and Ben Rowe's gone through, has he? He's side by side now. He's on the outside line though, down towards Brook, and I think the Trainer's going to hang on the way into the corner. It's going to be a bit of a drag race to the line. So Paul Cook comes out of the final corner. He's going to see the checkered flag first, but provisionally he is being excluded from the race results. So the battle for the race victory is going on behind. Cook sees the checkered flag, but the race win is going to go to Sean Trainer. Sean Trainer with a much needed double race victory. Ben Rowe 2nd and Graham Mailings 3rd. The top 3 separated by less than a second. Shane Mansbridge is 4th ahead of Chris Thomas, Darren Aldworth, Tim Heron, Matthew Smith, Aaron Bowman-Smith and Matthew Rowe. Rounding out the top 10, then it's Andrew Ruthven, Neil Stratton, Adam Lockwood, Dave Hemingway and Gareth Baxter, ahead of Paul Laurie, Daniel Bryant, Daniel Farmer, David Rowe and Dominic Early in 20th. Philip O'Halloran is next, then Scott Hughes, Patrick Firmin, Michael Japp, Stuart Briley, Mick Nichols 26th and a lap down, Patrick Stoner and Adrian Barnes, Matthew Allen and Paul Calloway non-finishers, so too Thomas Mailings, Gary Patterson, Tim Tracy and Neil Hurren didn't start. Paul Cook and Josh Brooks both excluded from the race.
Well, Sean, here we are again, 2nd place this time. Firstly, congratulations. You're on 2 wheels at one point, you nearly put it in a wall. You lost power, got it back just at the right time.
Yeah, it did, yeah. It's, I mean, it seemed, you know, I seemed down on power. It's, I mean, I'm maybe looking at how it went on that last lap, maybe I'll have to have the dyno checked. But it was close, and I thought I'd got a decent start, but Paul and Josh got away. Then they had an incident on the first corner, which sort of brought us all back in, I think. And then we made a bit of a break. I think Ben had was with Mick at one point, and it was, I thought, oh, we're making a bit of a break. It sort of, so I was quite happy, sat where I was, and then I see him get through, and I thought, yeah, he'll be coming. So I thought, right, just keep your head with you. And to be fair, I lost it a few times. So like I say, hitting the sausage curb, put it on 2 wheels, and then nearly putting it in the wall. But then sort of decided, you know, got myself sorted, and like I just got to take me out. Like really, if it weren't for the 2 lads that sorted my car out, I'd be, I wouldn't have been where I was today, because the handling was what did it for me today.
Ben, firstly, congratulations. Hectic race out there. You've got to be happy with 3rd.
Yeah, really hectic. 750 racing, or sorry, MR2 racing is always quite tight. I mean, you look down the grid, I think it was the 2nd down to 9th in qualifying, so it's always going to be tight. And, you know, sometimes you're a little over-optimistic about what will come off, and other times, you know, it does come off. I mean, like I say, Sean, I couldn't believe he stopped for the first corner when he come past me. It was witchcraft. I think he must have thrown an anchor out the window or something. It was absolutely amazing. But that's why the guy's won the championship twice, so you have to work hard to beat him.